Twitter's decision to permanently ban conservative pundit and Breitbart tech editor Milo Yiannopoulos has prompted a debate about free speech on Twitter. Joining us now is Emmy Award-winning legal and media analyst Lionel of LionelMedia.com. Legally, Lionel, is there a concept of free speech on Twitter? Was what Milo was up to not a protected First Amendment matter?
Absolutely not. The First Amendment technically protects us from acts of the government. When the government does something to thwart or impede our speech, and it applies to the federal government, the state government, and the like. But there's something, Anya, that's even more amazing here, and it's a bigger issue. You know, whenever there have been cases where allegedly despotic leaders wanted to shut down free speech, a la Erdogan recently in Turkey, Mubarak in Egypt, what was the first thing they did? They wanted to shut down the internet and shut down Twitter. Twitter is not just a game. It's not this cute little app. It is a fundamental and, in many cases, a life-supporting, thriving means of communication. Now, Anya, isn't it funny what is allowed and what isn't allowed by virtue of the terms of service of Twitter? If ISIS wants to, perhaps, send out messages of hate and war and destruction, sometimes that's permitted. If certain proponents of, let's say, Black Lives Matter, which is not in and of itself a problem, but sometimes offshoots, were to express horrible thoughts, if social justice warriors decided that they're going to want to say and spew venom and hate, what I don't understand is that how certain things are allowed and certain things aren't. But you know what the real takeaway is? The government is sitting back, and Eric Blair, George Orwell, must be looking down and saying, look at these people. This is Rod Serling. This is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Look at how we are censoring each other. We're doing it. We're calling for people to be banned permanently. We're applauding. Now, I'm not in any way supporting or countenancing or agreeing with anything this fellow said regarding Ghostbusters or Leslie Jones. By the way, it wasn't exactly Gone with a Win, but I don't think it deserves hate speech, but that notwithstanding. But look how we are talking about hate crimes, hate speech. Anya, we citizens are doing the censoring. We're shutting down the speech. We're doing it. We're imposing this. The government doesn't have to do anything. And through our own devices, we've actually permeated a surveillance, a breach surveillance, firewalls, which the government could have never done. But we're doing it. That's what's scary.
And we have about a minute left, Lionel, but I wanted to ask you, since on a site like Twitter, you can so easily block somebody or mute somebody, it's essentially a utility. It doesn't get rid of the actual harassment, right? So what good does banning someone like Milo do? I don't know, except to maybe play into Milo's whole personality and character. I think he benefits from this.
And also, with all due respect, you know, I'm sure nobody's ever done this to you, but I've been doing this for almost 30 years. If nobody hates me or says something scurrilous, I'm not doing my job. I can mute, I can ignore. Look, it's the business we're in, and I understand it can transgress. But my God, you're so correct. One of the things that we have to do also is to look the other way. But we're censoring ourselves. And to permanently ban, let me just repeat this, ISIS is okay. ISIS can talk about, and I'm not even talking about Facebook, but I don't understand this. You can be a terroristic organization that calls for the beheadings of individuals, sometimes even posting it, and yet a bad review of a movie. And also, dare I say, if you look at what caused this, a lot of the individuals who were supposedly hurt and rebuked actually caused this. So it remains to be seen, and thicken our skins, folks. It's a tough world out there.
Not to mention that if you start banning people on Twitter, some people might be glad about Milo now, but who knows who it's going to be tomorrow. So certainly a conversation we'll have to have in the future, Lionel.
Precisely.
Thank you so much for your analysis there.